You're tuned in to Nerd Overload, your weekly show for video games, movies, TV shows, comics, tech news, and more. Now your hosts, Cody Pennick, Samantha Cross, Sam Dunham, and Josh Harrison.
Hey everybody, welcome to Nerd Overload, the pop and geek culture show that would also leave the live-action Powerpuff Girls show too if it had the opportunity. I'm Cody.
I'm the artist formerly known as Buttercup, Sam.
And I am host Mojo Jojo, the host that has the most news about the nerd overloads.
That was really good.
That's a really good Mojo Jojo. Yeah.
Because I am Mojo Jojo.
We have him in the studio with us right now. It's Mojo Jojo, everybody.
It is a good time to be here.
Anything you've checked out this week, Mojo Jojo?
Well, wait, we're getting we're getting way ahead of ourselves here. All right, thank you all for tuning in this week. We have a great show for you, a bunch of news to go over. But first, we're going to talk about some things we've been checking out.
Check it out!
Nice. That's a good tie-in.
Mojo Jojo the monkey. Oh, banana. It fits. It fits. So we have a couple weeks worth of check'ems. You would think that I would have an entire list of things that I've been doing. Turns out not so much.
I mean, we are
Not so
adults
much.
with working lives.
I mean, that is the sad truth of things.
And we're still in a pandemic, technically.
Yeah, technically,
so that
sure.
Still kind of puts a hamper on what you can do.
A little bit. But despite that, I did do a couple of things. First off, decided to restart Pokemon Shield. I kind of have been thinking about jumping back into it, and I thought maybe the first time through I didn't give it quite the time of day that it needed. So I decided to just kind of save everything that I had, like all the Pokemons and whatever, wipe the slate clean, start fresh. And you know what? It's fine. It's a fun game with the updates, the patches, and the DLC that have been added as a package, as a full package, as the whole thing. It's more enjoyable than it was at first release, I think. I still have some issues with the game itself. The story is just paper thin.
Oh, it
and
sucks.
And the
Plot
character,
sucks.
it's one of the worst plots in the Pokemon games.
Once Pokemon games actually started getting plots.
Sure.
Well, like the original game has a better plot.
Yeah.
It at least follows a through line and makes sense.
Yeah, and the thing that I keep running into is it's like things keep happening, like a plot keeps happening, and it gets to a certain point, and then the adult characters in the cast keep saying, well, don't worry about it, we're adults, we'll take care of it, you just go do the gym challenges. So you have this entire extra plot going on completely off screen that you aren't a part of.
And that's the more interesting stuff.
Exactly. So, but it's enjoyable enough. I'm having fun with it. I do almost have the Pokedex completed again, which is something I did back in, was that X and Y?
Yeah, I remember
completely,
that.
I completed that. And as it turns out, so I booted up the Pokemon Home, the phone app, the other day that it took the place of Pokemon Bank where you could transfer between games, so you can kind of save what you have. Apparently, it saved all my records from X and Y. Huh. So I only had like 50 to go before I had the entire everything. I am down to 3.
Wow.
I have 3, and then I can say that I have completed. I have one of everything. That's impressive. That's daggone it. That's
So many
took
Pokemon.
some work.
Yeah.
So many
893 total.
Pokemon.
Yeah, just a few.
Man, I thought 151 was daunting.
Right.
My favorite part of Sword and Shield was the actual like gym battles themselves.
Those are fun.
They have an awesome like energy to them that I don't think any of the other games have had.
Well, yeah, because it felt more like, a sport that, everyone enjoyed watching.
Yeah.
Being in almost like a soccer stadium
Yeah.
kind of situation.
With the
instead of-
cheering and the crowd reactions.
And
it's
the
really
uniforms
cool.
and stuff.
I like that. Although it's weird that you can't change your uniform.
Yeah.
They give you different versions of like different Pokemon type versions of the uniforms, but you can wear them, and you can wear them outside of the gym challenges, but you can only use the default when you're actually in the
Doing
gym
the challenges.
and that's That seems like a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because I think I bought like the ghost. Like I think I bought the ghost uniform and sword, and I was like, "Oh man, this thing looks cool." I'm like, "Oh, poo."
Yeah. And I've been kind of going through and doing bits and pieces of the DLC during, like, as I've been completing the main quest as well.
Instead of like beating the game and then doing it.
And it does kind of flow a little better.
Okay.
There is an item that you get right at the very beginning of the Isle of Armor, the first DLC pack, that makes leveling up new things super easy, and it basically makes you kind of ahead of the game for the entire game.
Oh, okay.
Which, kind of easy mode, I guess, a little bit, but also I'm an adult who has things to do. I don't want to sit and grind for hours like I did on Red and Blue. I just want to kind of...
Grinding Pokemon sucks.
It's the worst.
Like, I mean, there's grinding in RPGs, but then there's Pokemon grinding.
You spend hours and hours trying to get the levels up.
Oh man,
and
this
stuff
gym's
like
giving me a hard time. I need to find a type that's good against it. Well, I got this low level bird or bug Pokemon or whatever.
Well, time to take 8 hours out of my day and fight a bunch of
Magikarps.
I thought it was a lot better once they made experience share just a standard thing.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, that definitely got better, but it's still kind of a slog though.
Yeah. So the other thing I've been checking out, and this is kind of a sad thing, but I did kind of want to bring it up. I went back and watched a whole bunch of old Whitest Kids You Know clips.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk briefly on the sad part, and then talk about the Whitest Kids You Know because it's hilarious. But the main guy behind it, Trevor Moore, tragically passed away a few weeks ago. He was a really, really funny guy.
Oh, yeah.
And he was behind a lot of stuff that I wasn't aware of. I been digging into what
His
he's
career.
been doing post Whitest Kids. Whitest Kids You Know was a
Sketch comedy.
sketch comedy show that started as a stage thing at a college and kind of moved on. Apparently, Trevor Moore was in television and media since he was like 12 or 13 years old. Like he had been doing it forever. Prior to Whitest Kids, he had a cable access television series called The Trevor Moore Show, where he would take callers and basically, goof on them for hours at a time.
Nice.
Basically, he was living our dreams.
Kind of, a little bit. But unfortunately, he passed away kind of suddenly. But it gave me the excuse to go back and watch some of my favorite sketches. The Abe Lincoln Ford's Theater
That
sketch.
is like one of my all-time favorites of all sketch comedies.
Jordan and I still quote that one to this day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And see, that one's a good one. The Chris Angel Mind Freak.
Oh, yeah.
It was a really good one where he keeps popping up in things. Like, put in this videotape of your 8th birthday. Mind Freak. And he shows up in the background of the... It's like, oh my God, man, he's in the tape.
Wait. Wasn't that a David Blaine thing?
No, that was a Chris Angel Mind Freak joke.
Okay, because I remember an internet video collection of some guy spoofing David Blaine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a similar
and he
concept.
did
a similar thing.
And he did a similar gag where he went into some dude's like childhood birthday party video.
It was a similar thing. I remember it being Chris Angel Mind Freak because he was dressed like a weird goth. And David Blaine just looks like a guy
and looks at the camera funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, that's it. What were some of the other ones? Supersize Me with Whiskey.
Yeah.
Oh man. I know we talked about this in the chat a little bit, but
we had a big long discussion the day of.
Yeah,
about
and then
all
like
this.
the one where Billy's parents die, and he starts this like talking back to his teachers. Like, you can't tell me what to do. My parents are dead.
Yeah, a lot of the Whitest Kids stuff is very inappropriate. We can't actually.
Yeah.
It is taking every fiber, every ounce of my being not to go into some of the sketches here because I cannot say them on the radio.
Like Whitest Kids You Know is like it was like that level of raunchy, kind of like I wouldn't say not.
It's very 2000s.
Oh yeah,
it was a very 2000s kind of comedy.
But also, it wasn't like everyday sketch comedy stuff. This was like Mad TV, like
a lot of poop jokes, a lot of butt jokes.
yeah.
A lot of
I have to say,
jokes.
it's like Always Sunny level.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Similar vibe, but
Yeah.
sketch comedy.
Yeah.
And that's when he realized he was the cat's claw of the West. And he's typing his book. He looks down and discovers he's been typing into a pie instead of a keyboard. What?
5 hours wasted.
7 hours? Pies belong in the kitchen.
Or the daughter bringing the boyfriend home and they tell them they're going to move out and live in the ocean.
Live in the ocean.
You can't live in the ocean. You can't tell us how to love, Dad. I'm like, no.
You can't-
Biologically, you can't live in the ocean. You can't breathe that out air.
We'll live on love, Daddy. Okay, logic's out the window. Well, I spoke to a wizard the other day, and they said that if you live in the ocean, you're going to get cursed. Whoa, babe. Let's hear him out.
Did you have a long beard? Oh, yeah.
Long
Seems
beard, one of
legit.
those pointy hats.
Seems legit.
Seems legit.
Oh, man. I used to watch, like, Whitest Kids You Know sketches, like, so much.
Yeah. Apparently, they were working on an animated movie. They were working on an animated movie. They were doing a Twitch D&D.
Hopping on that train,
Yeah.
huh?
They were doing some of that.
'Cause
They were
that's what
doing.
you do.
And they were doing also just live, the whole sitting in your, Zoom call doing comedy thing. But it was all the guys from Whitest Kids, and so yeah, it's kind of sad to see him go.
mean-
It was one of those things where it kind of unlocked an entire like section of memories,
That you forgot you had.
because I'll be honest, I hadn't thought about
Whitest
the
Kids You Know in a
show
long time.
outside of the
Oh, yeah.
Abe Lincoln sketch.
I hadn't watched it since college.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I didn't realize that it happened until I saw one of our mutual friends post something about it, and I looked it up, and I was like, "Oh wait, what? Oh no!"
Yeah. And the worst part is, it was from all accounts, unsubstantiated, but it seemed like it was accidental.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, just like a freak accident.
yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't a
It-
planned thing. It wasn't like he was sick. It wasn't like
Yeah.
it was.
It was
There's
definitely
anything going on. It was
like
just.
it was like an Anton Lynchen kind of thing. Like it just happened.
Yeah, just kind of boom. So yeah, now that I've brought the room down, who else has a Checkum that they want to go into?
I've got a couple.
Yeah, let's hear it.
We went back and I watched Space Jam 2.
Okay.
Sorry.
With the wife. Yeah,
Sorry.
man.
So does that mean that I am the only one here that has not subjected themselves to the Space Jam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to.
Okay, I'm gonna preface this, especially after watching the original Space Jam, in more recent memory as well. It's no better or worse than the old Space Jam.
That's fair. Because the old Space Jam's not very good either.
No, it's not. Like going back and with the lens of an adult now of, refined cinematic taste.
Yes.
There's your
Yes.
episode.
Tell me more about the Space Jam and our refined
yeah.
cinematic taste.
As a professional film critic.
Kind of are.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Sure. Sure.
Here's your episode title,
Yes,
Refined
yes.
Cinema Taste. Because the original Space Jam, without rose-tinted glasses, stinks.
It's not.
It's not very good.
It's not a good movie. It's a thinly veiled ad for Nike and McDonald's.
Yep.
Yep. And, people's nostalgia at that time of Looney Tunes and Michael Jordan. Because people were still high on that hype.
We'll let you get back to it here in a second. There's a documentary on Netflix called The Last Dance. It is about Michael Jordan. It's going through his final season playing with the Bulls before he retired. And
first time?
And keeps having flashbacks to like earlier in previous seasons.
I heard that's really good.
And it has like talking heads with everybody. The amount of like the way Michael Jordan went about the reason why he was the best and not just one of the best is because he would make up, like in his mind, he would make up slights that other players had done against him. Totally fictitious things like, oh, this guy said this thing about me. I'm going to go and shove this basketball down his throat.
Wow.
And like,
Oh, yeah, I've read about this.
yes. To go back and try to watch Space Jam after watching The Last Dance documentary puts an entire new like layer
Oh yeah,
on,
like
on Space
Fueled
Jam.
on fictional spite.
Yes.
no, like seriously, like
his entire career is fueled by fictional spite,
and
Wow.
sometimes some real spite.
but mostly fictional spite.
But he, like the way he talks and stuff, he is a sociopath.
Yes.
He would sit there. That's where you get that meme of like, and I took that personally.
Yeah.
Because that's what he's talking about. He's sitting there like, so and so did this. I'm like, I took that personally, and so he did. That's how he psyched himself up to be like, the world's greatest basketballman.
He also was incredibly spiteful. There was a story in which I think it was something like he was going up for some award, and he invited a coach that he had in junior high basketball that cut him from his junior high basketball team. And in his acceptance speech, 3/4 of the acceptance speech was dunking on that one coach who
Wow.
cut him from the team in junior high.
Wow.
Because do you see what happened to me now? Can you believe, why did you cut me then? How do you feel now?
How do you
Like,
sleep at night, Coach Robbins?
yeah, pretty much. And it really makes Space Jam feel completely different, because if you think about Michael Jordan in the back of his mind going, oh yeah, Monstars, you said that? All right,
Can't believe you said that about me.
we'll see what happens.
See who goes to Moron Mountain now.
But yeah, original Space Jam, not very good. So Space Jam 2, also not very good, and way more commercial.
Yeah.
And I think it makes it worse. Like, don't get me wrong, the first one's pretty commercial too, because at the time, Warner Brothers was still banking on that Looney Tunes. We had Warner Brothers stores and malls and stuff. And
Looney Tunes were more relevant then.
they
than
were. They
now.
were more relevant.
Their reruns being on Nickelodeon at the time was a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they were culturally still relevant. I mean, people knew these characters and knew these stories, even the old ones, and not the story
And
of...
now they know Big Chunkus.
Basically.
Yeah.
Basically. But then...
Kid gets so excited about Big Chunkus, he has to leave.
Now they exist for boomers to get upset because Elmer Fudd doesn't have a gun or Pepe Le Pew is canceled.
didn't appear. Yeah.
Or for DC Comics to create realistic, gritty versions of them for their comic books.
I like that though. That's funny.
Have you seen the one about realistic Elmer Fudd as a Batman villain?
yeah.
Yeah, super good.
Yeah,
actually,
it's really good.
Yeah.
Also, it was really weird, like, when they go around collecting the other Looney Tunes for the Toon Squad, them being inserted into other film franchises.
Yeah. And like unartistically, just they slap them in there. It has no, you don't see how this affects that franchise.
No,
it's
not
just
at
a
all.
thing that
they're
happens.
just there.
Like, they're literally just superimposed. Except for, like, the Daffy Duck one. He kind of engineered that one.
Yeah, the DC World one was pretty good because it was all animated and they could do more. It was all original footage. Like,
I mean, and they do... But then you got Granny and Speedy Gonzalez in The Matrix, and it was weird. I don't know. Space Jam 2, I mean, there's a couple on-the-nose jokes, because there's one where LeBron's in a meeting with Warner Brothers, and they're talking about wanting to have him in all these properties, all these movies, TV shows, stuff like that. And LeBron makes a comment about, when a sports star gets into acting, it's never a good thing. And like, you could almost feel him like mentally looking at the camera while he said it.
also, Sarah Silverman's there for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know why she's in the movie.
Well, she wasn't Sarah Silverman. I think she
Yeah.
was just a Warner Brothers executive
she was
played by
playing-
Sarah Silverman.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, and then half the fun for me of that movie was looking in the crowd shots during the big game and seeing the different various characters that pop up in these blurred crowd shots.
But then they don't do anything.
No, they're
just there.
Yeah, they're like cardboard cutouts in the background that are constantly doing the same poses and cheers the whole time.
Like, I get as excited seeing Space Ghost as any 30-year-old man, but I wish he had some sort of effect on the movie.
like LeBron, yeah. Well, for some reason I almost think I got his name wrong. LeBron makes
LeBron
makes these comments about wanting to build this ultimate team of Warner Brothers properties. Like, he wanted King Kong and the Iron Giant, Superman.
Gandalf, which is funny. That was a funny joke in the trailer.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Gandalf play basketball.
Yeah.
Bet he can jam.
You shall not pass.
The ball.
But like, you saw like an '89 Joker in his museum heist.
His beret.
Yeah.
Nice.
The animated corpse of Adam West's Batman.
Yeah, they had 66 Batman
Dancing,
and
yeah.
66 Robin. They had 92 Catwoman standing next to the 89 Joker.
Wow. Have you seen the Batman 89 comic they're doing?
Yes.
Man, Babs Tarr and somebody pitched that to DC like 5 years ago, and they didn't take it.
Yeah, well, now it's Joe Keown's is doing the art, and he's really good as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like introducing an 89 Robin too.
The original, so the Tim Burton plot for Batman 3, I think it was like Batman, is it Batman Triumphant? No, that was Superman Triumphant. It was something. It was
Nick Cage Superman?
Nick Cage Superman was Superman Triumphant. There was a third Tim Burton Batman movie pitched, and Marlon Wayans was being eyed as Robin. So in the Batman 89 comic, they went ahead and drew Marlon Wayans as Robin. They're using scrapped, not scripts, but the basic outline for Batman 3 for the first arc of the comic. That's why you have Two-Face as the villain, because they were setting up
Billy D. Williams
through the first two movies, and then would become
I think he's
him.
only mentioned in the first movie. I don't think he's ever mentioned in 92.
I think he's on a poster or something.
I remember him being on a poster in the 89
His likeness
one.
is definitely there.
It's been a long time since I watched Batman Returns. I'd have to go back.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Oh, that was another one. Danny DeVito's Penguin was in the crowd shot, too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, the whole first row was basically
He's
Batman.
writing a Penguin comic.
Danny DeVito?
Danny DeVito
Yeah,
is
I
writing
think I
a
saw
Penguin
that.
comic for DC Comics, and that's awesome.
It is pretty cool.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's fine.
I've done nothing but interrupt
No,
your
fine.
Checkum.
It's fine. My Checkum sucks. I mean, Space Jam 2 was not a good movie. It felt hollow. It was basically wearing the costume of something that we used to be beholden to, or
revered.
Revered when we were younger, and it felt like
It's not even in space.
no, it's in
Yeah.
cyberspace.
Yeah.
It's in cyberspace.
So they should have called it Cyberspace Jam.
Yeah. 2077.
You know what? That would have been a cool title.
That actually would have worked. Cyberspace Jam. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that movie stinks.
Yeah.
My other check 'em out was we watched Scoob.
Oh, yes.
That's a good one.
And Scoob was a cute movie.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really good references to it. They completely recreate the original Scooby-Doo opening with the CG characters.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
See, I thought the whole movie was going to be like young Shaggy and Scooby, but then it does time jump a bit to current Scooby and Shaggy. Or at least what would be current Scooby and Shaggy within that universe.
That opening sequence is so good. The way they recreate the backgrounds in CG looks.
Oh yeah, it's
so
perfect.
good.
And you had like the creeper and the haunted diver.
The kooky space kook.
Yeah, I mean it was really good. Like I'm like, you know what? That was really smart. Like the way they did it.
The plot gets buck wild.
Oh yeah, the plot does get buck wild, but it also is kind of like a love letter to Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah.
Because you had like Blue Falcon and Dynamite, but
Halcone Azul.
but he's not Blue Falcon. He is the son of the original Blue Falcon.
That's cool.
Kind of trying to be his own person, but also live up to the expectations of being the Blue Falcon, I guess. But then you got like Dirk Dastardly and Muttley. And
Muttley's dead. A big part of the film is it's Dick Dastardly trying to open a gate to hell to get Muttley out.
Really?
except not. He opened a portal to the Greek underworld or the Roman underworld or whatever, because that's where Alexander the Great hid his treasure. And Muttley got stuck because the portal was one way. So he was actually looking for the mythical gateway to the underworld. Not so much to get Muttley back, but to get the treasure.
But also because he loves Muttley.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there is kind of a loose thing where you can't tell if he actually misses Muttley or he wants the gold. It's kind of both.
He misses Muttley.
It's kind of both.
Yeah.
The whole caveat of the movie is the bond between a guy and his dog. And they build up this whole thing of Alexander the Great and this dog he had.
Yeah,
and that was the
it's an
key.
analog for Scooby and Shaggy
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Dick Dastardly and Muttley.
And
Yeah.
probably Blue Falcon and Dynamite.
Yeah.
Yes. Because Dynamite is not a fan of Blue Falcon or this Blue Falcon
Oh,
because he's
okay.
not his dad.
Gotcha.
90% or 95% of the movie, he just calls him Brian. It's like, you need to pay attention, Brian. This is where the important stuff happens. But he's kind of goofing off with Shaggy in the corner. But he's also voiced by
Marky Mark.
yeah,
Really?
Mark
Yeah.
Wahlberg is Blue Falcon.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, it's a cute movie. It was fun. The CGI is actually not terrible.
And you have to get over that all the Scooby characters sound different because they celebrity casted.
Yeah.
But it's fine. I mean,
the only one that I would...
was Matthew Lillard Shaggy in that?
No.
Okay.
It's
I thought
Bill-
it sounded off.
It's Bill Hader, I think.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not Bill Hader.
No,
it's the other one.
It's the other one. Will Forte.
Well, yeah.
I get them mixed up all the time.
Yeah. The only one that would really throw me, oddly enough, is Fred. Because
Fred's been Fred forever. Frank Welker.
Frank Welker. Or I'll take Freddie Prinze Jr. He was fine as Fred in the live action.
It always cracks me up when I see kids getting upset that Matthew Lillard's not Shaggy. And it's like, guys, Casey Kasem is Shaggy.
Matthew Lillard does a good job. Though.
Yeah, I'm not saying Matthew Lillard's... He was great casting for Shaggy, but it's like, these people are acting like Matthew Lillard
Was
is
the
always-
original Shaggy.
Yeah, it's like, no.
By volume, Matthew Lillard is more Shaggy than...
Casey Kasem
I guess,
was.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we have all of those movies and all of What's New Scooby-Doo and
All of
yeah.
Mystery Inc.
The 2 live actions.
Yeah.
I mean, he did a good job.
Scooby-Doo meets Kiss.
Yeah. Yeah. Didn't they do like a return to Zombie Island or something?
Yeah,
movie
but
recently?
apparently I've heard not good things.
That makes me sad. That makes me sad.
Because Zombie Island had some real good animation.
Oh, yeah. And also, Zombie Island had legitimate monsters in it.
Yeah.
Which is something Scooby-Doo doesn't do often.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm sorry we have to cut
It's
things
fine.
short, but we actually have to take a break. So when we come back from a couple of ads for other great shows on here on WZMO, we'll get into some news.
Hello, I'm Greg Dunham, the host of Long Play here on WZMO. I just wanted to take a minute to assure our many fans and listeners that my staff and I take our job seriously here at WZMO. We will always strive to bring only the highest quality audio entertainment to you and yours. Who am I kidding? We just grab whatever album's on top of the stack. Join us every Friday at 11 p.m. and Saturday at 3 p.m. for Long Play. Tune in to see what we've come up with this week. Catch us every weekend right here on WZMO.
Hey, we're back with the Death Star plans.
Minnie Bothans died to bring us those.
Yep, we're back, so we're going to go ahead and get into a little bit of news.
Nice.
It's fitting.
Chewie came with he came with the Death Star plans. We have a full room of people in the old studio today. We have
I can't do
Mojo Jojo and Chewbacca.
I can't do the Mojo Joe again. It hurt my throat. I don't have voice training.
All right, so yeah, we have a whole list of stuff that kind of has been going on the last couple of weeks. Where do we want to start?
Let's talk about this weird He-Man trailer that Netflix put out today.
Yeah, that's a good place to start. This is brand new. So yeah, they put out a trailer for a 3D CG Netflix series.
He-Man reimagining?
Yeah, definitely a reimagining, not like a
And not like the Kevin Smith one that just came out.
Yeah, because the Kevin Smith one is very much rooted in the original series. This one, it looks like they're taking the entire concept and turning it into space future,
Yeah.
like cyber future.
Yeah.
And they're taking the Masters of the Universe title like very literally. There's different characters who are the master of different things.
Yeah,
And they're a super team, I guess.
And Skeletor has his Dark Masters.
yeah. I honestly, I'm not sure how to feel about it. I think I like it.
I like the idea.
It's different enough that I could see where the people who made it may have been in some kind of corner where, like, well, we have this idea that's just far away enough from He-Man but if we call it something else, people are just going to say this is just He-Man in space. But if we call it He-Man,
even though there was a He-Man in space or proposed He-Man in space,
there was a He-Man in space, The New Adventures of He-Man. It's not good. Mm-hmm. I've seen it. It's very bad. But if we call it He-Man, people are going to say this isn't like He-Man because it's all techno magic.
it's
It's
a catch-22.
It's a weird catch-22.
And I feel like they're pulling a little bit from the 2000 He-Man reboot too,
Yes,
because they bring in Caldor, who
yeah, I'm cool with that. I like that kind of backstory with
which makes me wonder how Caldor in that is going to translate into being Skeletor, who's seen in the same trailer. Does he work for Skeletor? Is he Skeletor?
I bet he's Skeletor.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think they're going to keep that.
I mean, I doubt they're going to do the whole face melting accident which caused him to become Skeletor.
No, I think that'd be rad though.
Oh, it was great in the 2000 one.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He goes to assassinate King Randor and he throws acid or whatever and it spills back on his own face, and then the only way to save his life was to do some kind of spell on his head.
Some kind of magic
Yeah,
to make
which-
his head green and
Skeletal.
skeletal. Yeah.
It also damaged his vocal cords, so he was like,
He has no vocal cords. He's a skullhead.
true.
This magic spell messed up my whole scene.
How am I going to pick up chicks, Beast Man?
It destroyed my sweet mustache.
He did have a sweet mustache.
He did.
Anyway, I mean, it's really, I mean, the whole trailer is like narrated basically by who I'm assuming is going to be the sorceress. Never showed the sorceress.
No, and you probably won't. She is probably going to be a Zordon type,
An ethereal kind of thing.
ethereal voice.
I mean, Techno Catholic Grayskull kind of looked cool with its big Stargate door.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited for Robo Orko.
Robo Orko maybe is the best designed of all of them because
Yes.
he's just Orko with a
digital face.
with a
Yeah.
LED screen that you can put emoji faces on. That's cool. I'm all right with that. It looks like they are gender swapping at least a couple of the characters, which again I'm cool with. I don't
fine.
care.
Yeah.
It's He-Man. It's not like He-Man had a real deep lore to begin with.
Yeah.
No. He was a cartoon designed to sell toys.
And let's face it, this show is designed to sell toys.
Exactly. That was an article I was reading was this was a toy line coming out, and so Netflix was like, here we go.
And the CG they're using is in a very stylized way that you could tell
It
that the toys are going to be very angular.
It almost reminded me of Disney Infinity.
Yeah.
Disney Infinity a little bit. Have you seen those Marvel toys for kids? They're like have interchangeable parts with like magnetic like in the joints.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They have like real angular kind of muscles and stuff
yeah.
like that. That's what it kind of looked like as well.
Yeah, like part of me was kind of feeling like, man, you're trying to go for this whole like cyber troll hunter kind of look, but it's not DreamWorks, so it doesn't look as good.
It also looked a lot like someone took a second stab at the Bruce Timm 3D,
The Green Lantern.
that Green Lantern, but made it a little more angular.
I really liked that one, by the way. That was a good
It
show.
wasn't bad.
It was a good show. The Bruce Timm's styles don't really translate to 3D that
No.
well, and I think by making them more angular in this, I think it works a little better.
Yeah, but also, if you've noticed, like a lot of the characters have like almost like that Warhammer heroic proportion style where like
Yes.
they have like the really
Yeah.
super broad
Yeah, it
shoulders and
reminded
big
me
chest.
of World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, these characters look like they are straight out of a MOBA.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I felt like I was watching a trailer for the Raid Shadow Legends knockoff.
Well, except Raid has a more photorealistic-ish look. This
Clash of Clans.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yep.
This was definitely looked like a mobile game
Yeah.
for He-Man.
One of those games where the icon is a man screaming.
Yep.
I might give the first episode a shake just to see where it lands.
Oh, sure.
I don't
it's
know if I'll-
Netflix.
I don't
I
know-
might as well try it.
I don't know if I'm going to follow the whole thing.
It looked like it very much was not for me. I
Yeah.
mean, it looks clearly like it's aimed at little kids, which that's fine. That's the original show was.
Sure.
And then like I don't know. I kind of like the fact that like Skeletor has like a one skeletal hand. Looks like he has like a gold skeletal hand or something.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how that all plays out. But I did like the quick montage real quick of like the villain roster. Like I liked, what was his name?
There was an Evil Lyn. There was a
Beastman.
Though Evil Lyn really
Beastman,
didn't look like
Trapjaw.
Evil. Yeah, Trapjaw. That was the one I was.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're bringing Triclops. I think Triclops would be a strong pick,
Triclops would be a strong pick.
especially for
Yes.
their techno future
He's
kind of
in
thing
the
they're going.
Kevin Smith one,
Well, yeah, of course he was in the original show.
which is so good. The Kevin Smith one is so good. They should just make more episodes of that.
I really need to watch that. I want to.
I'm surprised you haven't. It's very, very good.
All right, so along with that trailer, Marvel dropped a new trailer for
The final trailer.
the final trailer for the Eternals Space X-Men.
We actually see them doing superhero stuff.
Yeah, stuff happens
They
in
do
this trailer.
stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the trailer is still them standing in a barren wasteland. It's one of the most boring looking movies I think I've seen.
I'm still definitely not excited about it. It is what it is.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying. They're going to try to do some stuff. They're introducing the Celestials, which they're going to have to do, which a lot of people online are misinterpreting as Galactus.
Yeah.
It's not Galactus. That guy with the 6 dots for eyes.
Yeah.
That's not Galactus. That is a Celestial. He is of similar quality, but not.
I mean,
Not Galactus.
They've introduced Celestials before. Guardians 1? Yeah,
no,
Guardian.
well,
Nowhere is inside the head of a dead Celestial.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's what I was
and
about to say.
they mention it. They mention it lore-wise, and then Ego is a Celestial or was. It's just keep going from there. I mean,
Yeah, and it seems like this movie is going to go back to the well and tie into Infinity War again. Apparently something with the rush of so many people coming back to Earth has jump-started some kind of
rush back to the universe or
rush
whatever.
back, well, to Earth specifically, because if I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong, because admittedly, the Eternals space side of Marvel Comics is not something that I am intimately familiar with, but I believe the whole deal is Earth is secretly an egg for a Celestial. And they
So
seeded,
that's why it's kind of like the center of the universe.
that's why it's kind of like the center of the universe. That's why things keep happening to the Earth, and that's why the Earth was seeded with humans and humans with superpowers. They were like a version of white blood cells to protect from the Earth egg from outside forces trying to damage the unborn Celestial. And this might be a thing where the Celestial might be starting to be born, which means the Earth is going to crack in half and die, and the Eternals are going to be like, well, we don't really want that to happen because we were here for 7,000 years and we kind of like the Earth now.
oh man,
I bet that's going to be the thing.
it's Steven Universe, but bad.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. That is my guess what this is going to be about. It's kind of the way the trailer made it look, and it's definitely a concept that has been done in the comics.
Yeah, and I definitely feel like it is, like we were talking off mic, but it's going to be like a one and done kind of thing.
Yeah, the whole thing, it seems as though Eternals was put into production well before the Disney acquisition of 20th Century Fox. 20th Century Fox has the film and television rights to the X-Men
And the Fantastic Four.
and the Fantastic Four, but in this particular case, they're worried about the X-Men. Marvel Studios wanted the X-Men. They couldn't use the X-Men, so they looked at what they had and went, okay, let's try. Well, first they said, okay, let's try the Inhumans, and that bombed pretty bad.
Yeah, but that's also because they tied the Inhumans to the S.H.I.E.L.D. show, which they pretty much stopped supporting halfway through.
They kneecapped their own show there.
Yeah, that was kind of a...
It started so strong, too.
Yeah. But they went, okay, what is a group of characters that we can put together into a movie that is X-Men-like, but not X-Men? So we have a guy whose main power is I-beams. We have someone whose main power is super speed. We have someone whose main power is being good with stabby things. It's Eternals. There's the Space X-Men. But now that Marvel Studios has
The
access
X-Men.
to the X-Men and can start production on X-Men related properties and tie it into the larger cinematic universe, I can see like maybe the Black Knight, maybe if people really like what's the laser beam guy? I think his name's Icarus.
Yeah.
Johnny Laserfingers.
I don't know any of the names of the Eternals. I think Icarus is the leader. I think he's the one with the eye beams. That's the only one I think I know.
The one that like who just looks like Homelander without a cape.
Yeah, I think Icarus, and I think there's one named Cersei, but that's the one of Asian descent. I don't think that's Angelina Jolie with the bad accent.
Kid Icarus.
Kid Icarus, yeah. But anyway, I could see this being a one and done because now they have the access to the real X-Men.
Hercules is supposed to be in this movie too.
Yeah,
Is he?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens.
Yep, Hercules. I just want Black Knight. I don't think Black Knight gets enough play
But
in
will
Marvel.
Danny DeVito reprise his role as the little goat man?
What was his name?
Phil.
Phil, yeah. I want James Woods Hades.
James Woods is Hades. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
Have you
shame
ever seen-
about James Woods.
Have you ever seen that Disney made-for-TV movie, The Descendants?
Oh, I've never actually sat down and watched it.
Okay.
Kids love it.
Kids love it. It's not the worst thing I've seen. It's an interesting take on
Aren't they all
the
like
kids.
descendants of like Disney
they're,
villains?
They're the
Yeah.
kids of Disney villains. Well, in the second or possibly third one, they introduce Hades as a major character, and it is like leather biker Hades from the movie Hercules. Like he has blue flaming hair.
Does he have blue skin too?
It's like chalk white. It's like chalk white skin, blue hair, but also he's like a leather jacket man. So
Oh, okay.
it's interesting. It's interesting. The movies are
Man,
fine.
Hercules is a good movie. I like Hercules.
I haven't seen it in so long.
Did not like it when I was a kid. Enjoy it now. I don't know what it was when I was a kid. Didn't care for it.
I like the art style. It's a lot different
It is.
than like a lot of the stuff that was coming out at the time. It took its cues from classic Greek art.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to other things. We're talking about nerd movies and stuff. Let's talk about Idris Elba and how he keeps making excellent decisions in his career.
He's apparently going to be Knuckles in the Sonic movie sequel.
Stringer Bell is Knuckles.
Yeah.
Bloodsport is Knuckles.
He seems too old to be Knuckles to me, but I'm the only person on the planet Earth that isn't excited about it, so I guess I'll shut up.
I think it's so stupid that it's going to work. I think it's fine.
I mean, the first Sonic movie does show some echidnas like right at the beginning.
I mean, if they really wanted to, they could maybe make. Isn't there like an elder echidna?
Probably.
That's probably what Knuckles is.
They could probably. Well, no, I mean like in the clan of Knuckles of echidnas, there's like Joby and like Fluffernutter the echidna or whatever. I don't know. They have stupid names.
There's those like 500 echidna characters that one guy
That one guy created.
and then tried to spin off without legal right to do so.
Yeah, claiming that he had sole ownership of them or something. That's why
Yeah,
we can't use Sally Acorn in anything anymore.
Yeah, there's a big mess with the Archie comics
There really
Sonic rights.
is. There really is. But anyway, yeah. So
Which is why Sega flushed it all down the toilet, which
Yes.
was probably the right move.
probably, yeah. So, but yeah, Idris Elba. He doesn't seem like the kind of guy, like in interviews and stuff, that would make these kind of decisions. But looking at his career, he picks some weird, like very nerd centric stuff. He was in Pacific Rim. He was in Cats.
Yeah.
He was in the Suicide Squad. He's now
Heimdall.
He's Heimdall.
He hates the Heimdall stuff though.
Yeah, well,
Although
to
he's
be
been saying,
fair,
Well, he hates the makeup.
He hates
hated
the makeup.
contact.
He has said that he wants to come back.
Well, yeah.
As Heimdall, because I mean, why wouldn't you? Most Marvel movies are money machines.
Yeah.
Like I saw an interview where he's talking about he made this one. He made Mandala, and he loved that movie. He loved working on it, and then he'd have to come back to do Thor stuff and sit in makeup forever to get that thing, like the hair glued to his head and those contacts. And He said it felt empty. He hated it.
But I bet he loved that paycheck.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure everybody loves their Marvel paychecks.
Yeah.
I just feel like Knuckles
Except
should
for
be
Scarlett
like,
Johansson.
like someone. Well, she wanted her Marvel.
I know. She
paycheck.
wanted her. She.
Should be someone like younger and hipper and like a cool. Well, I mean, Idris Elba is cool. He's Idris Elba, but like a young hip person.
Like Michael B. Jordan.
I was
Yes.
just getting ready to say that.
Yes.
I was just getting ready to say that.
yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's who I would pick.
But like we can all agree that Knuckles is black, right?
Oh yeah, I've
Oh,
always.
yeah.
Okay,
it's
yeah.
the dreads.
Yeah.
It'd be wrong if he wasn't.
Right. Now, the Knuckles thing, I'm not too worried about. If they give Tails the wrong voice.
Tails is in the first movie.
Well, yeah, but in like a post-credit scene, but they haven't announced if they are going to continue with, because they use the video game voice for Tails at the post-credit. They could stunt cast this this Tails like they've stunt cast everyone else, and if they do it wrong, Tails is a kid.
Just make it like Bobby Moynihan.
Yeah.
I'm just going DuckTales. Here,
Sure,
'cause we
yeah.
got Ben Schwartz, so throw Bobby Moynihan in there.
Yeah, there you go. Sonic 3, they introduced the entire
Sonic
Extended
Adventure.
Sonic
cast.
Adventure cast. Who plays Big the Cat?
I mean,
Who has Big Dumb Voice?
well, John St. John.
I was gonna say.
Who do you stunt cast?
I was gonna say
As Big the Cat.
Not Horatio Sands.
No.
No.
Shoot, why am I blanking on his name? Kronk.
Oh, Patrick Warburton.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I could
Yeah.
see. You know what? Yeah. Froggy.
He's not a big stunt cast, though. He's not a big enough celebrity.
But Big is also not a big enough character.
That's true. He's not
Big
gonna
would
be
maybe
a-
have like 3 or
Yeah.
4 lines, and
And
Patrick Warburton
sound
would be
like
about
Lemmy
right.
from Mice and Men.
Yeah.
Pitbull.
Oh, jeez.
Who would be Shadow?
Well, okay, so you would for Shadow, if you don't have Ben Schwartz do a different voice, you would need to find someone who is
Jason Schwartzman.
okay, either Jason Schwartzman or didn't Ben Schwartz do a comedy? Didn't he do a handful of Netflix like mini
Yeah.
like with another guy?
Yeah,
who's
get
done
that
a bunch of
guy.
stuff.
I
Yeah,
forget
with
who
the
it
beard,
is.
the beard and the floppy hair. I can't think of the guy's name, but that guy, and that would
Beard
be kind
and floppy hair.
I don't remember the guy's name. He's been a background character in a lot of stuff. He was in that Space Force TV show. He
didn't
was
watch it.
Not many people did. He was in Godzilla King of Monsters as the like an American liaison.
Thomas Middleditch.
Thomas Middleditch. That guy.
okay.
Yes. Middleditch and Swartz. There's really funny stuff on Netflix. But yeah, that would be kind of a funny in-joke to
Yeah.
have Middleditch do a Shadow, and they can have basically riff-offs basically between the two of them.
Well, we gotta cast Rouge the Bat and Amy Rose.
Oh, you get like Anna Kendrick or something for Amy Rose.
Yeah.
That's a fine one. And I don't know why I thought Dolly Parton would be a good Rouge the Bat. But think about it for
I
a
think
second.
the internet's poisoned you a little bit.
How about Christina Hendricks?
Yeah. I don't think she has a unique... See, because their voice...
That's true.
Even though you're stunt casting, by definition, stunt casting means you're not getting the best voice actors.
Gal Gadot.
There we go.
Hey,
Yeah,
actually,
you did
that's
it.
actually
You did it.
that's actually
Yep.
because she has vague European enough accent that it can go for Rouge the Bat.
Yep.
Who I guess I've never thought until this point that would have some kind of French accent, but her name is Rouge the Bat. So,
But Gal Gadot is Israeli.
well, she's
Yeah.
Israeli, but people are dumb and they don't hear accents.
But you nailed it.
But
though.
yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
And she's a big enough name right now.
she
that
is a
we're-
big enough
Yeah.
name.
Vector no, we can't. We could be here all night.
Oh no, we can't do chaotix. We cannot
We're
do
not
the
opening that Pandora's box.
we cannot do chaotix detective agency. Although Vector the alligator would be Aaron Hansen because he would get one line and he played him in something at one point. I think.
Did he?
Yeah,
His voice in what was that Sonic Forces was terrible.
it was bad. It sounded like a Bobcat. Someone
Yeah.
doing a bad Bobcat Gold. You know
Yeah.
what? Just make him Bobcat Gold. Wait.
Yep.
I don't know, Sonic. We gotta go find Charmy the Bee.
Your Bobcat is like a up-pitched Harry Carey.
It really is.
Hey!
Ryan Reynolds is just all the chows.
Oh yeah, but they would have to get Ryan Reynolds in there somewhere as something.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's all the chows.
Let's hit the Pokemon stuff.
Yeah.
Let's hit the Pokemon stuff
because that's the big deal news.
That is kind of the big deal news. Yeah. So there was a Pokemon Direct, and it was the longest one to date. It was almost
Pokemon Presents.
presents. Oh yeah, okay.
Whatever.
But it was like a little over a half hour, I think, or close to a half hour. 28
Yeah, it's like
minutes.
27, 28 minutes.
Yeah, but they talk about all sorts of Pokemon games.
which most of them are remakes of old ones.
Well, a lot of them were mobile games that aren't good.
Yeah, so let's blow past the mobile ones first. Pokemon Unite is getting some stuff. I still don't care because
Boo.
the pay to win aspect of it is still
Predatory and bad.
predatory and real bad. Although the phone mobile version is coming soon, and I could see they're going to make $1 million off
Yeah.
that thing.
And they're adding 2 new characters, one of which is like a
It's Mamoswine.
Mamoswine, the mammoth guy that nobody cares about.
A mammoth without a trunk.
Yeah. And the other one is Sliveon, which is one people like. So
Yeah.
that's a good
That'll
pick.
be the expensive one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the most frustrating thing about Pokemon Unite, if it were also a bad game, that would be one thing. It's fun.
Like Pokemon Quest.
Yeah. Yeah. If it were like Pokemon Quest, it'd be like, I can ignore this. I don't care. It's fun. I don't like MOBAs, but this is simple enough. And the rounds are hard capped at either 5 minutes or 10 minutes, as opposed to like a League of Legends game or something like that,
Could
where
go on
they
forever.
go on for like 45, 50 minutes, which is way too long for one match of something. But like, it's quick, it's fun, and because it's 90% children that play it, you can beast.
It's like Mario Golf.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I have never trounced another. I never single-handedly carried my team to win on an online video gaming matchup so heavily in my entire life. Like, everybody else on my team and the other team had like 5, 6, 7 points. I had 138 points. I took those children
To school.
to school and back.
Uphill both ways.
Uphill both ways through the snow.
Way to go. How's your back feeling? You carried that whole team.
Oh, wonderful.
Not bad actually, because it was a bunch of small
It's a bunch
children.
of, a bunch of very light children using their Charmanders. And I was a Snorlax, so it's like I can carry that weight.
Hyper beam.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, if it were a bad game, I would be like, whatever. But
But the fact that it's actually
fact
kind
that
of
it's
enjoyable.
a good game marred by very bad.
Now,
It makes it
are you
hurt.
considering it a good game because how well you performed?
I mean, that is a part of it. But also, it's just mechanically a good game. It just feels good to play. It's, everything is off of just a couple buttons on the controller. You
So
don't
it's not
have.
terribly too complicated.
It's not too terribly complicated. The movement feels very nice. It's very direct. It's fun, but also I hate it.
The other one was Pokemon Cafe Mix, which apparently they've retooled and retitled the whole thing.
Yeah, because no one's playing it.
Yeah, nobody played it before. I remember downloading it on my Switch, never playing it, and then
Oh yeah,
deleting it.
that's that weird like match 3, right?
Yeah, it's not. Is it a match?
It's a match as many as you can.
Yeah.
Because they're not really in like lines.
No, they're all
that you
jumbled.
swirl them around to try to.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of like
match
that
things.
one Angry Bird bubble pop or whatever.
Kind-
it's like,
something like that.
the Disney Some.
Some.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're adding some more characters for Pokemon Masters.
which
Alright.
is conceptually a good game, but I found boring in execution.
Same.
Yeah, I deleted that real quick.
I played it a lot longer than I probably should have.
You know what
But-
Pokemon game's still on my phone?
What?
Magikarp.
Oh, you still have Magikarp Jump.
I like that one.
I
was
like
a
that
fun
one
game.
as well. I did eventually delete it. I needed space for other stuff, but I may re-download it at
Yeah,
some
that was
point.
a legitimately fun game that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
Oh wait, maybe I don't anymore. I forgot I had in my Pokemon folder. It says Pokemon Go and Pokemon Home.
Yeah. So moving on to the main games, there is there was some more information about the Switch remakes of Pokemon Silver and
Diamond and Pearl.
Diamond and Pearl. Sorry, yeah, they all have weird names.
Shining Diamond, Shining Pearl, and Brilliant Diamond. Is that
Shine
what it
bright
is?
like a diamond.
Yeah.
I was just getting ready to do that. Ah, you stole my thunder.
Oh yeah.
It looks fine.
It's fine. It has a very simplified overworld look that I understand some people who have been playing the Sword and Shield might look back and go, wow, this is kind of a step backwards. But this game is a remake. It's not a brand new game. So
Yeah.
it works. It works for the game that they're playing. That you're playing.
It's a polished, retro, whatever you want to call it.
They're trying to make to capture the feeling that the original games had with better graphics, and I think they've done that well.
Yeah.
I mean, like we were saying, it's not quite as good as like Link's Awakening.
It just doesn't have that artistic touch that.
It doesn't have that. It doesn't have that like that joyful spirit.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that has the artistic touch we'll get to in a minute with Pokemon Legends.
Yeah.
The one thing that this kind of feels, and this is me being cynical 100%, but it feels a little bit like they saw the production of Pokemon Legends was going to miss the Christmas mark, which it is. And they're like, oh crap, we need to throw something together for Black Friday. What game do we what fairly recent game can we do an up-res and create assets, use a lot of 90% of like in-battle assets from Sword and Shield, because that's where all the monsters are from,
yeah.
and put them into this game, create a few assets,
And they literally
go.
farmed it out to a different developer too.
Yeah, so it seems like they're kind of throwing it in as a kind of,
To have
placeholder.
something out in time for Christmas.
Yeah, and
Because they usually do.
yeah, and it's very telling that they are not looking at the Diamond and Pearl remakes as long-term games, because we missed it at the end of the direct that we watched, but they said that any competitive Pokemon is still going to be done within Sword and Shield. So tournaments, building teams, doing tournaments, that sort of thing is not going to be done within any of the new games. It's all going to be done within Sword and Shield.
Sword and Shield is still the main title.
It's still the main one.
I feel like these, on top of that, but these are also like a way to get the old Pokemon
yeah, I guess.
moved to, modern,
Sure.
like
sure.
with home and stuff like
Yeah.
Yeah,
that.
because I mean, I guess it's either that or do just a straight up emulation of the GBA game, and it's clear they're not going to do that.
I wish they would just do that.
I wish they would too, but they're not gonna. The last thing in the direct was Pokemon Legends Arceus, which is the action RPG esque
Open world Pokemon game.
Yeah, they're actually doing some new stuff in here for the franchise.
It's part Pokemon, part Breath of the Wild, part Monster Hunter, kinda, and it looks fun. It looks interesting. They're only adding a couple of new things, like new Pokemon to it, which is fine. Whatever.
There's already enough,
There's
yeah.
a million of them already. But
They definitely have success with just re-regioning certain Pokemons.
sure,
Yeah, that's a good concept. I like that.
yeah. But it looks fine. The graphics do look really good. I'm hoping that it runs well. There's going to be an awful lot of like grass swaying in the
Yeah.
wind, and that
And artistic flourishes.
Yeah.
always seems to be an issue for the graphical power of the Switch.
The Switch is really showing its age nowadays.
It kind of is, yeah. Well, that Switch Pro that we're getting in
Oh yeah, that's
6 months
definitely
or
coming.
3 years. Yeah.
They'll announce it tomorrow.
Of course.
I mean, I think it looks cool. I like the turn of the century Japan kind of look to it.
Yes.
the different setting is cool.
Even though it's an existing region we've been to, but it's a step back
Different
in
enough.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Set back in the past.
Yeah. What was another thing I liked about it?
It's going to take you back to the past.
I mean, they added a crafting mechanic to the game, which most of these games have at this point.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I
like the fact that the Pokemon could just straight up murk you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like how the trainer has its own health now. You can get killed by Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
You can be blacked out
Yeah.
by
Blacked out,
Pokemon
yes.
and wake up at your camp.
Yeah. We're running short on time, but overall, that's the one I'm excited for. That's the one, if any, I'll pick up. I'm not going to pick up the remakes of Diamond and Pearl. I don't need them.
If they go on sale, maybe. I've got enough
Pokemon, they're not going to
games.
go on sale, though.
I was on the fence about Arceus before because I'm like, I don't need Breath of the Wild, but Pokemon. But this showed that they have come up with enough new and interesting ideas that I'm sold now.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, with that, I think we have hit time, so let's go ahead and wrap things up for the week. You have been listening to Nerd Overload. Thank you very much for tuning in. You can find us each and every day over at nerdoverload.com.
You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and Patreon at Nerd Overload Now.
You can email us at staff@nerdoverload.com. Questions, comments, your favorite Pokemon, your own Pokemon original concepts, original characters.
You know what? Give me your favorite Digimon. I'll take that one.
You can also give us a call on the Nerd Overload hotline, 586-372-8020. Leave a message on our voicemail and we might play it on the show.
All right, and all of our back episodes on various podcast apps such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and more. And finally, I'd like to thank David Pencil for the use of our intro and outro. You can find more of his stuff over at davidpencil.com. So again, thank you all for tuning in, and we will be back next week.
Also, Chloe Bennett left the live-action Powerpuff Girls. That's what the intro was in reference to, but we didn't get time to talk about it. Okay, bye!